Hello and welcome to another edition of The Editor Wants to Know. I want to welcome you to this live video series, because today is a continuation of what I've been doing since the last video. And before I jump in and talk about exactly what it is we're going to do, I just want to take a little time here to introduce myself and show off this cool cowl that I'm wearing, if you guys can see it. Oops, I don't want to hit my microphone there. Anyway, so I've got this twisted float cowl, if you guys can see that. And I'm going to demonstrate something. I'm going to demonstrate how to slip a stitch on the edge of this cowl. And this is in the autumn 2016 issue of Creative Knitting magazine. So, my name is Carol Warner, and I'm the editor of Creative Knitting magazine, and I'm also the host of purl's podcast, and I want to welcome you to today's live video. And if this is the first time that you are joining me, I just want to do a little housekeeping here and just ask you to, well, number one, invite your friends, share this with your audience. First, if you like this, if you go to Creative Knitting, the Creative Knitting Facebook page, you can like us, and then this will end up in your feed. So make sure that you go ahead and do that. And then right after you do that, go ahead and share this with your audience so they can also join in and have some fun as well. So this cowl, let me tell you a little bit more about it. So it is in the autumn issue of Creative Knitting magazine, and it's called the Twisted Float Cowl, and it has these really cool buttons here, so you can button them all up or leave a few undone like I've done here. And hey Marie, nice to see you. And then it uses this technique, which I'm not going to show you today, but I have a feeling that you guys are all going to ask me about it. But it is called twined knitting. And so maybe you're familiar with twine knitting, and I'll maybe show you that another time. And I can ask you in my usual traditional way, the editor wants to know, well, when we get to the end of this tutorial, I'm going to just ask you a couple questions and see, just to kind of gauge what you'd like to see in the future. Hi, Christine. Hello from Olympia. Yes, nice to see you. Welcome to this video, to this special new demonstration series of The Editor Wants to Know. So, and also this cowl is made with Manos del Uruguay Magna. So just wanted to let you know the yarn that this is made with, and just in case you're interested. Yeah, so I guess what we can do is we can get started. Hey Karen, nice to see you. Good afternoon from Nova Scotia. Ooh, Nova Scotia. My husband is from Nova Scotia, so welcome. All right, so have you guys ever twisted a stitch in your knitting? I'm not twisted, I'm sorry. I'm not thinking. Slipped a stitch. Not in your knitting. Let me rephrase that. See, this is a live video, so I can't go back and edit. But slipping the first stitch in your knitting. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a demo, and what I've been doing, and so this is one big experiment, right? Hey Kay, nice to see you. Yes, it gives a lovely edge. Of course, Marie. I'm going to show you a few things. So this is a swatch. It's just a regular old garter stitch swatch. And if you take a look at the edge here, you can see it's bumpy. It's not sloppy. It looks pretty good. It's not sloppy or anything. So it's just a certain look. But if you slip the first stitch, and it's a very simple and subtle technique in knitting and so incredibly easy to do. But if you slip the very, very first stitch, you get this braided look. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Do you see that? Do you see what that looks like? It's like this cool little braid. It looks almost like the V's in a knit stitch. So when you are knitting, okay. So here's the edge of the garter swatch. just knitting, so it's knitting the first stitch of every row. And this, on the needle, because I'm going to demonstrate, is showing you what it looks like when you slip that first stitch. And there is a bit of a technique to it. It's not hard. It's super, super easy. And so I'm going to show you. So the yarn that I'm using right now, in case you're interested, it's Encore Mega. Encore Mega. In case you want to check it out. So Darlene says, I do it even when it's not called for because I like the finished edge it gives. Yeah, so that's what's really cool about this. So if you're familiar with why this is a great technique to use, then you know when to use it, right? And that's something that I'm always hoping that I can infuse or pass forward to you in any of these videos, is like, when we're doing something, what's the reason behind it? Not just do something in your knitting because it says it in the pattern. But if you are looking at the pattern, and I'm hoping that any of you watching have the autumn issue. So who out there has the autumn issue? Just say a yay or nay. Say, yes, I get creative knitting every time it comes on the newsstand. Or you're a subscriber. Tell me if you're a subscriber. Or if you're not too, that's fine. Don't feel bad, but you should be. No, I'm joking. But I'd like to know. So if anyone out there has the issue, if you're familiar with this cowl right here, let me know right now in the comments. Karen says, I'm still waiting for it in my mailbox. Kay says, yes, I'm subscribed. Yes, awesome. All right, you guys, don't be shy. I see a whole bunch of you guys watching. So, but anyway, so it's in this issue, the autumn issue of Creative Knitting, and it's the Twisted Float Cowl. Okay, so I'm just you can see the model shot, beautiful model shot, and I'm also wearing it as well. Janin, I hope I said that right, is a subscriber. Lynn, yes, subscribed and have this issue. Christy says, subscribe on Kindle. Fantastic. So in the pattern, it says, if you guys are, I'm hoping any of you watching are going to be able to find this useful if you do plan on making this cowl, because there's lots of cool stuff in this cowl. I'll show you a quick little close-up shot here. You see that? It's all that twined knitting that's going on. And if you're not afraid to use the two colors and kind of manage those yarns, then this is fabulous piece. But in the pattern on page 41, it explains how to do this technique of slipping the stitch. And sometimes we can get it wrong, and that's why I'm going to demonstrate. So you slip the first stitch of every row purlwise with the yarn in front, and then take yarn to the back before you knit the first stitch. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. So if you were to do this and you were to only slip the first stitch, knit as if to knit, it'll look exactly like this, whether you knit it or not. It might tighten up the edge, but doesn't look any different than this. So the most important thing is to slip as if to purl and making sure that yarn is in the front, because then when you bring the yarn back, it essentially twists that stitch, or just kind of turns it a little bit. It doesn't twist it. That's not the right word here. It turns it just a touch so that you get that braided look. And it's very, very pretty. So Marie says, I am a digital subscriber. Yes. Darlene is an online subscriber. Fantastic, you guys. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate. So I've got this little swatch on my needles. Okay, and I am going to, and you can see from there, you can see that I've got that little braided look going on, and you can also see it on this, I'm going to show it to you before we get started. You see that on this cowl? It's really very pretty, and you can see that this is a garter. It's a garter. It's garter stitch along the edge of the cowl. And so it creates a very unique look. So the reason why I wanted to show it to you more like, show this to you as well is because this yarn, this Manos yarn, is a 1-ply yarn. So you can see it. It's very clean, has a very clean look. And the Encore Mega is a 2-ply yarn. Is a 2-ply yarn. So it just looks slightly different. I'm going to move this around. So I want to. Oops, sorry, you guys. I probably just hit my mic there. So there it is. Very cool look. I love it. I love all these little cowls, these little scarves that we can make. So I'm going to jump into the demo now, and I'm going to get myself situated, and then I'm going to turn you guys around so you can see exactly what it is that we're going to be doing. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay. So here's the swatch. Okay, you guys ready? All right, let's go. Okay. So here's how we do it, okay? So the first thing, super easy, super easy, is we just take our right hand needle and we slip it, and then we leave the yarn in front, by the way. Just leave that yarn hanging down, just like this, okay? And then we slip in that stitch as if to purl. This is really important, you guys. It's kind of trying to focus here. As if to purl. I'm waiting until my camera focuses, my phone focuses. And then slip it off the needle. Okay? We slip. And then let's take that yarn that's in front. Put it in the back. Put that in the back. Because we're going to go ahead and knit now. And then all we do is we knit. As usual, knit that next stitch. That's all we do. That's it. That's all we do. So super easy. Super easy. Oh, I'm so glad that you like that, Kay. So really, we don't have to see the knitting, do we? How many knit? I'll talk and knit. I can do that. I can talk and knit. So did you guys see what I did? Do you want me to do that again? So it's at the beginning of every row, so that you get this twist, this little turn, or half turn, I guess you could say. I'm going to turn that baby around here and pull out some of my yarn. So I'm turning it around. I'm going to try. Ooh! Oh boy. Sorry. Woohoo! Lots of moving. Okay. I do apologize for that. Alrighty, so we're going to try that again. You guys ready? Okay, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. Okay, so here we go. The yarn is just hanging down. It's in the front. It's right here in the front. Keep it in the front for sure. We don't want it in the back. Take that right hand needle and just simply slip it right off. Then take that yarn and get ready to knit. Just move it right to the back. Bring it to the back of the work and knit the next stitch. That's all we're doing. That's it. All we're doing. That's all we're doing. So Lynn, you were doing it wrong, huh? Now you know why it didn't look like that. Yeah, because you probably, and you know what? I've probably done the same thing in my journey as a knitter. The first time I tried this, I slipped it. And I said, well, what's the point, man? It looks the same. It doesn't look any different because I did not, most likely, slip as if to purl. So let's take a look. See that? It's pretty cool. There it is. You see that lovely braid that we have? Pretty awesome. Okay, so now that's pretty much it, you guys. And I'm gonna flip you on around. Here you go. Hey again. So did you find that useful? So here's my question, because this is the editor wants to know, right? So Lynn was doing it wrong. Anyone else? I mean, be honest. It's okay, because I've been there too. Has anyone else tried this and realized just now by watching this very simple demo that you were doing it wrong, that perhaps maybe you were slipping as if to knit. Just curious. So Barbara says, when you take it to the back, is it behind or wrapped in front? Nope, you're not wrapping it. You're basically bringing it to the back, getting ready to knit. So you're getting ready to knit, so your yarn is in the back, as if you were going to knit your row as usual. So Kay says, I never tried it, but I will now. Yeah, I mean, it really does help enhance the look of your knitting, especially when you do have a raw edge. Like if you're going to be, well, I should say, when you're making sweaters, because you don't have to worry about a bumpy edge. So if you want to have a nice clean join when you're sewing, it's very helpful. It's very helpful. I think that it helps me keep track when I'm, before I go to sew, especially like in mattress stitch or other types of sewing methods when you're, finishing. Lynn says, I have been slipping as if to knit. Yeah, so I think that this was really helpful, in many ways, because it's as simple as it is, and sometimes it's those little simple things that really do help us. And so I thought this would be a great way to kind of have a nice, easy, quick, the editor wants to know, and then I can ask you some questions about it. So let's see. So again, this is the Twisted Float cowl in the issue. Is anyone making this right now? Just curious. There's another question for you. And would you like to see a twined knitting demo? So Christy says, I wish I'd done that on the most recent baby Afghan I finished. Next time. That's right, Christy. There's always a next time with our knitting. There's always so much to learn, isn't there? I mean, it's just endless. Lynn says, I am knitting doll sweaters for my daughter's Etsy shop now. The edges will look more professional. Thanks. Great. Yes, please. Yes, please. And so as far as the twine knitting, I'm guessing, I should ask one question and wait, but I'm afraid of the silence. It's kind of like a confidence thing. The silence. Ooh, we don't want silence. Kay says, yes, more demos. Karen says, yes, I would like to see the twine knitting demo. I actually have a pattern or a pair of fingerless mitts that I applied the twine knitting to. But I think for the purposes of this, because this is in the autumn issue, so that it could help you make this particular cowl, I think it would be nice to work on it, show you a demo for this, and really just more or less how to manage those yarns when you're doing the twined portion of this piece. So yeah, another technique to add to my repertoire. Diana says, I'd like to make that. Yes, Diana, do you have this issue? And if you don't, you can certainly find it on creativeknittingmagazine.com. And either get yourself an issue or get yourself the digital issue or the subscription. And it is on the newsstand, by the way, you guys. So at your local yarn shop, at Joann, Barnes and Noble, check it out in those places. So Terry says, hello. Sorry, love your videos. You are awesome, and I have learned so much. That's so sweet of you, Terry. I really do appreciate it. So, I think that's it. And again, please share this with your friends if you haven't already done so. Remember to like the Creative Knitting Facebook page so you can get notified for the next video. And also, send me any kind of questions. You can send me feedback and questions anytime you want at editor@creativeknittingmagazine.com. And when you do send me those emails, please tell me, hey, I want a demo on this or that, or there's this pattern in the magazine. It would be great to see that particular stitch demonstrated. So if it pertains to the magazine, then I will absolutely consider it. So please, let me know. And yes, hey, I can't pronounce Kershid. Yes, this cowl. Thank you for your compliment. This is in the autumn 2016 issue of Creative Knitting Magazine. So the pattern is in there if you'd like to try it. So you guys, so yeah, before I go, Kay says maybe you can help with making socks. Yeah, you know, I think in the autumn issue, we've got some, well, no, we don't, but coming up in the winter issue, we do have a demo, a sock demo. You know, so it would have to pertain to something in the magazine, you know, if I do a demo, or something that, you know, because it's good to connect the dots, right? So a lot of the times I can go back to past issues and patterns and kind of pull those out so we can talk about any of those techniques or stitch patterns that trip you up when it comes to the magazine, so that you can be a more empowered a creative knitting subscriber and consumer. I guess that hopefully that made sense for you. Darlene, the reason I ask about slipping at the end of the row is that I seem to issues keeping the edge as you have at the beginning. I know what you mean. Yes, but here, Darlene, think about this for a second. You don't slip at the end. So don't slip at the end of the row, because you know what's going to happen? You're going to have a hole. You're going to have a hole in your work. So like, for example, between that the second to the last stitch and the stitch before it, there's going to be a hole in your work if you keep slipping. And then also you'll have, you know, your work will pull a little bit. Either, I'm trying to think if you'll have a hole or it'll kind of snag. Probably will snag, create like a little buckle, I guess. So anyway, to make life easy, if you slip at the beginning of every row, what does that mean? It means that you're slipping on the wrong side and the right side. So essentially on each side. So what I did was I slipped at the beginning of every row. I have the braid here, and I also have the braid here. So if you're doing it on every row, what that means is you're going to get it on both sides. So it means there's no reason to slip at the end of your row. So not necessary, Darlene. Nanette, I missed the first part of this demo. Did you add a stitch at the beginning or the end? At the beginning, Nanette, when I just explained that. So you may want to go back and look at the replay, because this is always going to be in the video archives. Yeah, at the beginning, and you slip as if to purl, keep the yarn in the front, slip as if to purl, then bring that yarn to the back, and then begin knitting the row. That's very important, Nanette, just so you know. Because if you don't slip as if to purl and then bring that yarn to the back, your edge will not create that little braided look. Darlene, you have patterns that call for it at the end. Interesting. I'm not really sure what that means. I mean, could you give me some context? Because perhaps there is a special kind of stitch if you're slipping for a reason, if it's something about the stitch pattern and not about the edge and the look of the edge, because I've never heard of that, and I guess maybe I'm showing my ignorance, and I do apologize. I guess, you know, there's always something to learn, isn't there? Pat says, thanks for the explanation just now, clears things up. Yay, awesome. So I think, yeah, I hope that answers most of your questions, and, you know, you guys, it's been awesome. I'm really happy that you join me every week. So again, thanks for taking a little bit of your time today, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.